How's it going, everybody? This is Dave from Talking Wolves. Welcome back to a brand new video today. I hope you guys are keeping safe and well. And of course, the Premier League season is now over, and Wolves have got to look forward now to a Europa League competition throughout August. But today I thought I'd bring you a slightly different video. It's a video that I tend to do, or a similar sort of video that I tend to do for the last couple of years. And today I'm going to be giving you 5 forwards that I think Wolves should look to go and sign this summer. I think it's no secret that Wolves need some sort of attacking option up front to partner Raul Jimenez. Raul Jimenez has been fantastic for Wolves since signing over the last couple of years, but it's obvious that Wolves need some sort of backup or some sort of plan B when things aren't going quite right, or if Jimenez ever does pick up an injury. Of course, we did sign Patrick Cutrone last summer, and that didn't quite work out, so I'm going to be giving you 5 strikers that Wolves could potentially sign that could fit the bill. So player number 1 is Andrea Belotti. Some of you guys may be familiar with this guy. He is a 26-year-old Italian striker, currently playing for Torino, currently the captain of Torino. And he did actually score twice against Wolves earlier this season in the Europa League. He scored once in the first leg and once in the second leg. The forward is already an Italian international. He plays in the Italy national team, and he has done a number of times, and he's hit 22 goals in all competitions this season. A very decent record in a top league in Europe, really. So scoring 22 goals in all competitions, obviously those including goals in Serie A. He scored 92 goals in 190 games for Torino as well. A very, very good return for a team that, no disrespect to Torino, aren't sort of one of the big giants in Italy. So to continually get that sort of record for Torino is a very decent return. He has been linked with some big clubs in the past, but the sort of last season or last couple of seasons, they have quietened down for Belotti. So rumours for moves away have quietened down a little bit, really. I think the only main issue with this one is that he's probably unlikely to be happy at being a backup player. I think he's expecting, if he does move, to be the #1 man, especially for a club like Wolves. I think he'd want to be the #1 striker. So I think that would probably be one of the main problems Wolves would face with this. But for someone of his height, Belotti, he's like a complete forward, really. He's aerial duels. He wins such a high percentage of them, and he's deadly in front of goal. You've seen that with his goal record. He was probably one of the most dangerous players, I think, for Torino when they played against Wolves. You could sort of tell he was one of the better players on the pitch, and probably one of Torino's best players. You could just tell that in Italy, and even at Molineux when we faced off against them in the Europa League playoff. The only issue is with this as well, Italians outside of Italy, or Italians in the Premier League in general, it's never quite worked out, especially over the last number of years. We've seen it with Cutrone, we've seen it with a number of different Italian players that have tried and tried to play abroad. Really, it's not even worked out. Even some of the best Italian players like Ciro Immobile, it's just not quite worked out for him either, with different sides abroad. So that would be a huge thing. I know I've always seen a few Wolves fans want Andrea Belotti, but in the back of my mind I'm thinking Italians in England have never quite worked out. Player number 2 on my list is bowadu. He's a young Dutch forward currently playing for AZ, obviously in Holland. He's a 19-year-old, and he has already broken into the Holland national team. He scored 1 goal in 1 appearance. But the 19-year-old is already firing in a huge amount of goals. He scored 20 goals this season, with 6 of those coming in the Europa League. He's a very, very quick forward, and of course this season he's proved to be deadly in front of goal. And he's also got 13 assists, so he can also obviously set up those other players. I think that's quite crucial for the way Wolves play. We see Raul Jimenez link up a lot. He's got a superb amount of goal contributions, and even if Wolves ever switch to a 2-striker formation, I think you'd like to think that your forwards can link up well together. Bowadu is known to also fill in on the left wing if needed to, and I think that's good for Wolves to add that little bit of versatility. And the youngster has been linked with some big moves to some big European sides as well. I think one of the price tags that I saw touted about was about £20 million. I think that would be affordable for Wolves. That's probably the sort of price range they want to be looking at. And I think for a young forward who's probably sort of happy to have, you know, not limited minutes, but to come off the bench and try and prove his worth, I think Bowadu could be an unbelievable signing this summer for Wolves. Player number 3 is Patson Daca. He's currently a 21-year-old Zambian striker playing at Red Bull Salzburg. Now, this one is sort of a player in a similar sort of mould to Bowadu, really. He's a young striker playing in a and not so, let's say, no disrespect to the Austrian league, in a not so sort of high-profile league, but he's been fantastic for Salzburg this season. He scored 27 goals in all competitions, and again, he's another player that can, you know, come with assists as well. He's got 12 assists in all competitions too. So a huge amount of, you know, goal contributions, 39 goal contributions in all competitions. Due to his pace, Daca, again, has been known to play all across the front three. He's predominantly a centre forward, but can play on the left and right hand side again, which I think is crucial for Wolves with how they play, with how they switch formations. I think versatility is key. He's also grabbed 3 league hat-tricks for Salzburg this season. I think, you know, Red Bull Salzburg are becoming slowly one of those teams which are just going to be one of those teams similar to sort of Ajax have been in the past. They're just going to be a conveyor belt of young talent. We've already seen Minamino move. We've seen, obviously, Erling Haaland is probably one of the biggest examples. And Erling Haaland was one of the big strikers for Salzburg. But this guy has come in and just continued where Haaland left off, really. And, you know, 27 goals for someone that, obviously, Haaland was there for half of the season as well. That is a fantastic, you know, contribution. Again, Daca is another player that has been, you know, highly tipped to move to another big European side. AC Milan have been linked. AC Milan tend to be linked with everybody these days. But no disrespect to the Austrian Bundesliga. I think the Premier League is quite a big step up. But I think similar to bowadu, he's another young striker who's probably happy to play second fiddle to Jimenez, but come on and get minutes where needed. And he's proved to be deadly in front of goal. The next option is one of the more experienced names on my list, Tiquinho Suarez, who is currently playing for Porto, 29-year-old Brazilian. I do apologise if I've butchered that pronunciation, but as I say, he's one of the more experienced names on this list, and he's got just 1 year left on his contract at Porto. It's been reported recently that Porto are going to be looking at cashing in on plenty of their current squad. It's going to be happening a lot with many Portuguese teams this summer, especially with the financial crisis, with coronavirus happening. I think a lot of Portuguese clubs are going to be cashing in on a number of their players, so I'm sure we'll see Wolves linked and reported with loads of these talents. But Tiquinho is one of those players that I think would come in and actually be quite happy to play as a backup and happy to come off the bench for Wolves. He has scored 19 goals in all competitions for Porto this season, and getting a goal every 146 minutes in all competitions. Wolves have been linked with him previously, a couple of years ago now, and I think that was just a bit of a shot in the dark. But this one sort of does make sense. Nuno was the manager at Porto when Porto signed Tiquinho, so this one does make sense, and like I say, I think he'd be happy to play as a backup for Raul. He's someone that's got a bit of experience, but someone who does also have an eye for goal. And the final name on my list is Artem Juba, the big Russian striker. He is 31, of course, the most experienced name on my list, and the 6'5" forward has smashed in 21 goals this season in all competitions with 16 assists. That's a total of 37 goal contributions in all competitions. He's also the Russian captain at the moment. He's got 23 goals in 42 games for Russia. But one of the most intriguing points about this one is that his agent is actually Raul Jimenez. I have seen very weak links with him and Wolves before, and I think this would offer Wolves something completely different. The last big striker as such you'll remember is probably someone like I don't know, maybe like Stefan Mayoffer, and that obviously didn't quite go to plan. But I think with Nuno and how Wolves play, Juba with his goal record could offer something completely different for Wolves, and a plan B that we've not really seen before. I think he'd probably work slightly better in a 3-5-2 situation, but with his height, he should be able to hold up the ball quite well, should be able to lay off the players, and you can see there with the 16 assists this season, you know that, you know, he's going to be capable of picking out a pass or, you know, cushioning some headers down and holding up the ball quite well. Juba has recently signed a new contract at Zenit as it was set to expire this season or this summer, but they have renewed it for another couple of years. Now that could be due to the fact that Zenit genuinely want to keep him, or it could be to the fact that they're looking to cash in and hoping to claw back some money this summer. But guys, there is my list of 5 strikers Wolves should possibly consider signing this summer. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. There are so many strikers that could have been on this list, so if you think there's anyone that clearly missed out, please let me know in the comment section down below. I've used a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of X-Report, and a little bit of my own make-believe on these 5. So if you did enjoy it today, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon.